in what's trending, taking reactions to the court order issued to the Senate to reinstate Senator representing Kogi Central, Natacha Abati Rufai, after her 6-month suspension was deemed excessive and unconstitutional. The judge in the case, Justice Binta Nyako, found Senator Abati Rufai guilty of contempt of court for publishing a satirical apology on her Facebook page. The post was made in defiance of a court order that prohibited all parties involved in the suit from making public comments about the case. As a consequence of the contempt, the court fined Senator Abati Rufai 5 million naira and ordered her to publish a formal apology in 2 national newspapers and on Facebook within 7 days to purge herself of the contempt. The judge emphasized that while the Senate has the power to discipline its members, such actions must not be so severe to deny constituents adequate representation, and that is an actual fact, yes, because we know that Natacha has not been, conducting her duties since her suspension, but she's seen this as a victory. She actually did put up a post, and the reason why the court said that it was unconstitutional is because they denied the constituents their rights, which is the fact that Natacha had not been serving as a senator. Well, I'll tell you what Natacha said on her IG post. She posted, "I am Natacha," with a caption, "Illegal and unconstitutional suspension quashed. Thank you, great people, for your support. Together, we redefine leadership." Senator Natacha Abati Rufai from Kogi Central. I mean, that post on Instagram went viral. In the meantime, the Senate says it will not recall Senator Natacha Abati Rufai from her suspension until it receives and reviews the certified true copy of the judgment delivered on July 4th, and until she complies with the court's order to publish an apology and pay 5 million naira fine for contempt of court. Although the court dismissed the Senate's argument that it had sole jurisdiction over its internal affairs, the Senate spokesman, Yemi Adaramodu, emphasized that the court's judgment does not override the Senate's constitutional powers to discipline its members. He explained that the onus is now on Senator Abati Rufai to fulfill the court's directives regarding the apology and fine. Once she complies, the Senate will then reconvene to deliberate on her matter and decide on her recall. Meanwhile, Senator Abati Rufai told her supporters in a video trending on social media that she would resume her legislative activities in the Red Chamber on Tuesday, July 8th. She expressed gratitude to her supporters following the court judgment that reaffirmed her position in the Senate. Let's take a look.
For your support, I'm glad we were victorious today.
Yes!
And we shall resume in the Senate on Tuesday.
All right, Senator Abati Rufai there with her constituents. You can see how excited they all are. I think even yesterday she went out to inaugurate a hospital or something like that. Dr. Abati, would you help us unpack some of these legal issues, especially as it has to do with her, suspension being unconstitutional or whatnot?
Beyond the drama,
yes,
I think it's important to realize that well, it's not decent to comment on a ruling where you have not seen the certified true copy because you'll be speculating. Mm-hmm. But the judicial review that I want to do is to simply say that in any ruling, there are 2 parts. There's what is called the ratio decidendi, and there's also the obiter, dictum or dicta.
Yes.
Now, what the learned judge said, Justice Binta Nyako, was that on one hand, the senator was guilty of contempt, having disobeyed the order of court, that all the parties should just keep quiet and not go and engage the media. And it was on that basis that she was found guilty of contempt. Contempt ex facie curia, and asked to go and pay a sum of 5 million naira as damages and to place adverts within 7 days.
Yes.
On social media, Facebook, which was the platform she used, and in 2 newspapers. That one is very definite. Now, the second issue is that the Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court of Abuja said that the decision to give her, to put her on suspension for 180 days was excessive, right? That would deny our constituents the right to have representation. If you say you are sending somebody on suspension for 6 months, so what happens to the job that she has come there to do?
That's the point.
However, without prejudice, the the judge said, to the fact that the Senate has the right to discipline its members, but she expressed the opinion that, look, 6 months is too much. Yes. And she urged that the Senate should take a second look at its legislative rules, guidelines, and procedures with regard to how you suspend your members. So the argument now, which the Senate's camp, their legal counsel, that they are pushing, is that the court did not give an express order for a recall. The court merely expressed an opinion. So it was the court in that regard dealing with the ratio, or was the court dealing with the obiter? Was his lordship speaking obiter? So those are some of the gray areas there. But both parties have claimed their victory. But I think, from what I've read in the papers, what we can hold on to is that the court has said, okay, go and apologize and all of that. And some politicians are saying, well, she was even asked to apologize in the first place.
Yes.
If she had apologized, she would not have been sent on suspension. So everything depends, in my view, on Senator Natacha Akpoti giving that apology.
Yes.
Maybe after that apology is given, the Senate, as Senator Adaramudu, who is the spokesperson of the Senate, has opined, would then say, okay, you have apologized, everything is over. Yes. However, the point raised, whether it is obiter or under ratio within that ruling that I have not read it all. It's only when I read it. Then it should be considered by the Senate.
Right. Because
the learned judge expressed the opinion that you cannot deny the people of Natacha Akpoti's constituency representation for such a long period, even when you want to discipline your member.
And that is an infringement on their rights, right?
I want to clear something.
Go ahead.
The apology here is not to the Senate.
It's to the court. Because the court gave a ruling March 20, 2025.
Doctor, let me finish, Dr. Abati.
Yeah,
let's clarify.
No, you can't explain it to me. I know it.
Wait, and I have not talked now. Okay. Except if you don't want me to talk, I can yield the floor to you.
Talk.
The apology is not for the Senate. And I'm saying this in response to how they are now couching it. Like the apology is to the Senate on what she had. No, she didn't. No. The apology the Madam Amodu were talking about was the apology they were trying to make her give to the Senate after all of that brouhaha. This apology is not to the Senate. Let me repeat it 100 times. Please, you can look
But you know that the Senate has asked her to apologize.
Yeah,
this is a different...
This is a different one. That's why I'm clarifying
Right.
Please, loop my statement.
Okay.
This apology is not to the Senate. This apology is not to the Senate. You know why? I'm saying that deliberately.
Okay.
Because the narrative now is they are couching it. This apology is for the contempt to court.
Yes. It's a satirical letter.
To the satirical letter she wrote. Right. Because they are not couching it and saying that the apology is to be the same. So when she apologizes or writes that, no. This apology is to the court and she will make the publication.
Don't worry, they can hear you clear.
Please,
loud and clear.
Look what I said, though.
But
this
you know,
apology is not to the Senate.
But you know,
apology...
Rufai, we have to go. But you know that, there's a certain group that has even urged Natacha that, don't go and resume, because, you saw her in the video saying, on Tuesday, I'm going to go to court. Because the senator said they have to read the court order and review it before they allow her come back, or before they recall her. They begged her, please don't go and resume and cause yourself another problem. But now the issue is she going to apologize? Let the CTC come out first. Is she going to apologize to the Senate before they take her in to the Senate? I didn't say court. Is she going to, because they're asking for apology? I repeat, they're asking for apology.
That's why I clarified that the apology is to the court. The Senate should not think the apology is to them.
Before she resumed? But I just think that her constituents have been denied for a very long time. This matter should be quashed. If it's an apology that is needed, I just think that it should be done. If the court has ordered it, it should just be done. Well, all right. Should we take another story now? Well, the Minister of the Federal